I'm Toymaker ZW, and today we have a request from a disgruntled employee of Playtime Co who got fired for creating a toy that poops. Sir Poops a Lot. Kinda like Sir Lancelot, but poop. All of his prototypes are locked in the rejected room where lots of other rejected Playtime Co toys reside in, and at the end of this video, we will own one of them in real life. The good thing is that we can borrow assets directly from Playtime Co, such as the exact 3D model, which is unfortunately very low in details because it's missing its sculpted fur and soot patterns, but we can use the normal maps to apply some textures to the surface, and we just need to adjust the intensity according to the reference we have, and that's it. Every single part now has their details, such as on the nose and the mouth. Even the cane has some little damage to it to make it more realistic. Now, using the same method, we can turn this brand new toilet into one that has been used and abused by Mr. Poops a Lot here, and it's looking really good so far. Except, I don't really like the jagged lines of his eyes, so I'm gonna try to straighten it a little and do some subtle adjustments because we don't want to stray too far from the original. Okay, something that I struggled with was the functionality of this toy, cause clearly he is supposed to talk, as we can see from his poop jokes on the back of his box. But unlike the other more developed toys that have their own cardboard cutouts, like Cat B,
To be or not to be? That is the question.
and Candy Cat,
Click the button to feed me candy.
Sir Poops a Lot doesn't have any of those, so we do not really know what he sounds like. I even tried some AI voices and they sounded so cringy
What's the best time to go to the bathroom? Who 30?
that I gave up on the idea. His hand is also clipping into his leg. Like, you know how when you place your hand on your fat thighs and it has that indentation?
Wow.
I wanted to lift the hand up so that the arm could articulate, but it goes against my desire for absolute screen accuracy because the juicy indentation is not going to happen if I lift it up. So I left it in his leg. I also wanted to make his head rotatable, but his neck is not circular. It's an oval and it's not going to turn. So I inserted a cylinder thinking I could replace the neck, but if I make it too small, the neck comes in the way, and if I make it too big, it doesn't look accurate. So in the name of accuracy, nurse, this is unfortunately going to be a statue. Well, enough of me making excuses, time to make things easier to print and paint by separating him into parts. Adding some connectors so that I could put them back together easily, cut a hole into his thigh for his hand to rest nicely on, cut a hole in the toilet bowl, and now we are ready to print. This is a rather large-scale project because not only are we using the Mega 8KS printer, which should normally be enough to print every single part thanks to the huge 15 inches build plate, we are also going to use our mighty 8K printer to print. Otherwise, we will have a Sir Poops a Lot without his head. Which is perfect because the mighty 8K will be able to capture the intricate fur details a lot better than the Mega 8KS. So everything is falling into place. While we wait for the printing to complete, I am going to work on the box, because the box itself is such a big part of the entire Poops a Lot persona, showing off the filthy cubicle that he is in and even providing some toilet paper for after the poop. Lucky for us, we can use the actual UV map. However, it is made for the game and it is not meant for printing directly, so there is some puzzle solving involved in this one. Obviously, this corner is supposed to join up with the rest of the backdrop, so let's position it back nicely. I'm also going to cut off some of the excess so that it's less confusing for me when I cut it for assembly. Then there's also the backside of the box with the same shape, so I'm just gonna try and match the corners nicely. Then I flip the remaining over to merge the corner, fix some issues, flip it back, and now we have both sides done. The rest is about the same, just cutting the pieces out and matching their corresponding backside. Then we want to arrange the pieces properly so that it can fold nicely into a box. Like these 4 sides should be together as one, and the rest will be separate so that I can glue them back on later. I'm gonna send this to a local printing shop and it should be ready the next day. In the meantime, the printing on the Mega 8KS is done after just 10 hours. Everything looks perfect. Look at the details that we applied digitally. It's amazingly replicated. I also love the perforated build plate on the Mega 8KS because these holes made removing the prints so easy. Just go in through those holes and just like that, we have printed a toilet bowl. A statement I never thought I would ever say. And a little while later, at 16 hours, our Poops a Lot head is done, flawless as expected. Let's bring it over to the basin to have it removed. This one is slightly harder because the Mighty 8K build plate doesn't have holes, so it's a little tricky to get the scraper under the base of the print. But once you find your way in, you just need to thrust in and out a few more times and it will come off the build plate with no issues. Of course, make sure to wear your appropriately sized rubber protection to have a safer experience. And here is all the parts we have to sand. Oh, how exciting. Can you hear the excitement in my voice? Straight out of the printer, no post-processing yet, and it looks so good. Fur details are so sharp, the suit details are so nice, even the battle damaged toilet is beautifully replicated. And now, it's time to remove the supports. Just like how the 3D prints require support, our channel also requires support. So a big thank you to our supporters on YouTube membership, Ko-fi and Patreon for your gracious contribution to keep the channel alive. If you want to gain early access to the videos like them, all you need to do is join the lowest tier on YouTube membership, and the more members we get, the more custom emojis we get to create so that you can stand out in your comments with your shiny new badge. Once again, I appreciate your support. Oh, we accidentally removed more than just the support, but it's fine, we can just glue it back on and sand it smooth later. I'm just gonna throw some money into the dustbin and we can cure our Sir Poops a Lot in the Cure Mega S for about 10 minutes or so, which gives us some time to assemble the box. This is actually my first time creating a custom box, so we will have to figure things out as we go. I printed it out as a sticker to paste it on the cardboard, but before pasting, my table is just too small. I need to cut the individual parts out first to make things more manageable, if not I will go crazy. Alright, starting small and easy. I'm gonna trim the edges or maybe not. I should paste it on the cardboard first, so that we don't have to cut it again, right? Okay, get a small piece out, kind of bend it flat first since it's been in the roll for months, peel the sticker backing off and stick it on. Cut it out once and it's done. Of course we have the corresponding back as well, and once we glue them all together, the thickness will be doubled and it's perfect. Okay, I think we got it. I will do the same for the rest and we can start folding the box. I'm gonna use some masking tape to keep it in place. I know it's ugly, but it will be covered up once we paste the other parts over it, so it's okay. Repeat it on the other side and we are done. Oh, I almost forgot. We still have the little thingy in the corner, which is supposed to have a little popped out effect, which I'm going to replicate with some scrap foam and glue it onto the box. And all that's left is to invite the pooper back into this cubicle. As per usual, we are blessed with a lot of sanding. But everything is quite forgiving because we split the parts up and the supports are either on the bottom or behind, so nothing important will be sanded off. The more tedious part will be to fill the holes up, especially the one where we ripped part of his head off. And we need to make sure that it's covered up, and any other holes that will be visible should be filled up as well. Which means this stupid cane. Just a lot of UV clay putty, and once we sand the excess off, it will be super smooth after a layer of primer. This is why I love sanding. Not the process, but the result. Let's do a quick test fit before we paint to make sure nothing needs to be modified. And everything seems to fit in nicely, and with one final piece, it is ready for paint. Painting is straightforward. I used white primer for every single part, Then I masked the white parts such as the inner shirt and the eyes, and then we painted the muzzle light brown. Painted the hands and feet a similar brown, but a little brighter, and did some quick maskings, including the face, and we can spray the body color, which is dark brown, including the neck and the rest of his face. Finally, we are going to spray the rest with black, like his hat, his cane, and his arms, and then his suit. The last step is to hand brush some details on the face, because for some reason he has really prominent yellow patches on his face, so I'm just dry brushing some yellow at the exact same areas. His ears are kind of weird as well because the dark brown color doesn't stay within the borders. It exceeds it a little, and that is what we will try to replicate. Then we can hand brush the blacks on his nose and eyes, and he is done. But the final step is to weather the toilet bowl because it's still looking too pretty. I simply used some black paint and dab it smooth with my fingers and apply some chrome for the handle. And finally, we can unmask all the parts, spray some gloss to them, and Sir Poops a Lot is done. Here we have the Poppy Playtime rejected toy, Sir Poops a Lot, recreated in real life. Having him in a box really sells the look of him being an actual toy, otherwise he's just a regular statue. We have all 3 of his jokes at the back of the cover. Very interesting bathroom cubicle interior. I did however mess up the orientation of the tiles because it should be rotated like this, but whatever. We have a try-me pointing to literally nothing, so we don't know how he's supposed to activate his jokes, but overall I am really happy with the result. The printed fur details are superb. We have the subtle yellowing on the fur as well, the suit details, even the toilet weathering fits the whole aesthetic, and the finishing gloss just makes everything pop. Let me know if you want to see more Poppy Playtime toys, and I will see you next time.